Boxing has always been a theater of dreams, a place where ambition and sacrifice collide in the most brutal way imaginable. The ring is small, yet inside those ropes, destinies are written, legacies are forged, and myths are shattered. It is a stage where courage meets consequence, and only the rarest few leave their mark on history and the modern age. One man has risen above his peers not only through his accomplishments but also through the ruthless artistry with which he achieves them. His name is Naoya Inoue. To his countrymen in Japan, he is a national icon, a source of pride, and a warrior in whom they see the reflection of the samurai spirit. To the boxing world, he is simply the monster. Inoue's story is not merely one of victories. It is a tale of relentless ambition, of pushing beyond limits, of seeking challenges even when no one demanded them. From dismantling an entire bantamweight division to conquering a new weight class and claiming undisputed glory, he has shown the world that greatness is not an accident. It is a choice, and it is pursued with sacrifice. Before Naoya Inoue ever set his sights on super bantamweight glory, he was already feared as one of the most destructive forces in boxing. At bantamweight, he built his legend piece by piece, fight by fight, until he held all 4 championship belts in his grasp. What made his reign terrifying was not only the victories but also the manner in which he achieved them. Fighters came in with plans, with dreams, with confidence. One after another, they left broken, their ambitions shattered by a man whose fists carried the kind of force rarely seen at that weight. Inoue's timing was immaculate, his precision surgical, and his punching power something that defied logic. He did not simply outbox his opponents, he erased them. In 2019, he faced Nonito Donaire, a future Hall of Famer and one of the most respected warriors of the modern era. That fight, a unification battle, became an instant classic. For 12 brutal rounds, the two men traded bombs, testing each other's will. Inoue emerged with a broken orbital bone but also with victory, proving that his greatness was not built solely on destruction but also on resilience. He had stared into the abyss and emerged stronger. In 2022, he stood as the undisputed bantamweight champion, having unified all 4 major belts. Few doubted his supremacy. He had cleaned out an entire division with ruthless efficiency. Yet for Inoue, the conquest was not enough. Greatness demanded more. He had no interest in coasting on his throne. Instead, he made a bold decision, to step up in weight, to enter a division filled with bigger men, longer reaches, and dangerous champions. The super bantamweight division was no soft landing ground. It was filled with skilled champions and hardened contenders. Among them stood Stephen Fulton, the undefeated American who carried himself with the confidence of a man who had never tasted defeat. Fulton was rangy, slick, and clever. His style was based on control, rhythm, and boxing IQ. To many, he represented the perfect stylistic challenge to test whether Inoue's dominance could carry into a higher weight class. When the fight was announced, the boxing world buzzed. Fulton, to his credit, agreed to travel to Tokyo, deep into Inoue's territory, for the clash. It was a bold move, the kind of decision champions make when they believe in their invincibility. But on July 25, 2023, at the Ariake Arena, Fulton walked into a storm unlike anything he had ever faced. From the opening bell, Fulton tried to establish control with his jab. He circled, he moved, and he attempted to keep the Japanese destroyer at a safe distance. But Inoue was undeterred. He stalked with patient menace, each step forward shrinking the ring, each feint forcing Fulton to react. By the 3rd round, the American's confidence began to erode. Inoue's right hand cracked through his guard with alarming speed. His left hook followed, sharp and precise. Fulton could not escape. Each round that passed brought more punishment, more inevitability. By the 8th, the dam finally broke. Inoue landed a devastating right hand that froze Fulton, then unleashed a left hook that sent him crashing down. The referee had seen enough. The fight was over. The monster had arrived in a new division the same way he had conquered the last, by devastation. Half the belts now belonged to him, and the message was clear. The Japanese icon had no intention of slowing down. He wanted all the belts again. The path to undisputed required one more step: Marlon Tapales. Marlon Tapales was no stranger to hardship. Born and raised in the Philippines, he earned his way up the ranks not with hype but with grit. His style was relentless, his pressure suffocating, and his fists dangerous. He had earned the nickname The Nightmare, and in April 2023, he lived up to it by dethroning Mirajan Akhmadaliyev, a previously undefeated champion. That victory gave him 2 of the 4 major belts and proved his legitimacy. Tapales was not traveling to Tokyo as a sacrificial lamb. He arrived as a unified champion with a mission. In interviews, he declared himself ready to be Inoue's worst nightmare. He embraced his underdog role with pride. On December 26, 2023, at the Ariake Arena, he stepped into the ring determined to shock the world. From the opening bell, Tapales charged forward. His plan was clear: pressure Inoue, overwhelm him, and refuse to let him dictate the pace. His combinations flew fast and furious, and for a moment, the crowd held its breath. The Filipino warrior was not intimidated. He was there to fight. But Inoue's genius lies in patience. He did not panic. He studied. He allowed Tapales to reveal himself, to commit, and to expose the gaps in his armor. By the 3rd round, Inoue's counters began to land with chilling precision. A right hand jolted Tapales' head back. A hook sliced through his guard. Suddenly, the aggressor was flinching at feints, second-guessing his own momentum, and the 4th round, Inoue detonated a left hook that sent Tapales crashing to the canvas. The Filipino rose, his legs unsteady, his pride unbroken. The bell saved him, but the message was delivered. Inoue had found the key. The middle rounds became a war. Tapales showed incredible heart, pressing forward, daring to trade. Inoue accepted the challenge, firing back with combinations that landed with greater speed and accuracy. The exchanges thrilled the crowd, but the difference in class was evident. Each time Tapales scored, Inoue returned with sharper, heavier punishment. By round 7, Inoue's right hand was landing at will. Tapales absorbed shot after shot, his courage dragging him forward even as his body faltered. The Japanese destroyer smelled the end. The 10th round, it arrived. Inoue unleashed a brutal right cross, followed by a thunderous left hook. Tapales stumbled backward, then fell to his knees, his equilibrium gone. The referee counted, but the Filipino could not rise. The monster was now the undisputed super bantamweight champion of the world, and less than 6 months, he had crushed Fulton and Tapales, 2 champions of the division, and stood as the second man in the modern era to become undisputed in 2 weight classes. Tokyo erupted. History had been made again. But greatness does not rest. Just 9 months later, another challenge emerged. This time, it came from Ireland. T.J. Doheny, known as the Power, was a former world champion and one of the most dangerous punchers in the division. With a knockout rate of 77%, he brought a weapon that could alter any fight with a single shot: his vicious left hook. Doheny was no stranger to Japan. He had fought there before, undefeated on Japanese soil, and he relished the opportunity to face Inoue in the biggest fight of his career. Many labeled him the hardest puncher Inoue had ever faced, and the matchup generated intrigue. Could the Irishman land the perfect punch and shock the world? In September 2024, the 2 met at the Ariake Arena. The monster entered with his usual calm menace, while Doheny wore confidence, even arrogance, in his demeanor. When the bell rang, he lowered his hands, taunting Inoue, daring him to engage. The monster obliged. His right hand cracked into Doheny's skull repeatedly. The Irishman soon realized the mistake of underestimating his foe. Still, he fired back, looking for his opening. For a few moments, his left hook connected, testing Inoue's chin. But rather than intimidate him, it awakened the Japanese champion's killer instinct. Inoue began dismantling him piece by piece. His counters came faster, his combinations sharper. He shifted focus to the body, unleashing hooks that dug into Doheny's ribs, draining his energy. By the middle rounds, the punishment was mounting. Doheny appealed to the referee, looking for relief, but there was none to give, and the 7th round, Inoue ended it. A savage barrage of body shots forced Doheny to clutch his back in agony. He dropped to a knee, unable to continue. The referee counted him out. The monster had claimed another victim, breaking him not through the head but through the body. By defeating Doheny, Inoue had defended his undisputed crown with authority. In just over a year, he had dismantled 3 champions, Fulton, Tapales, and Doheny, in devastating fashion. His aura grew larger with each performance. But Naoya Inoue's story is not only about victories. It is about artistry. His style is a marriage of ferocity and finesse. He hits like a man 2 divisions heavier, yet moves with the grace of a dancer. His timing is flawless. His anticipation is almost supernatural. He embodies the discipline, precision, and courage that define the fighting spirit of Japan. Historians now debate his place among the all-time greats. Few fighters have unified divisions in 2 weight classes. Few have done so with such dominance. Comparisons to legends like Manny Pacquiao and Roberto Duran surface, but Inoue's path is uniquely his own. He is not imitating history. He is writing it. From bantamweight destruction to super bantamweight domination, from Fulton to Tapales to Doheny, Naoya Inoue has built one of the most remarkable resumes of the modern era. He has shown the world that fighting is not merely about belts but about legacy. He has proven that courage means seeking the toughest challenges, not the easiest paydays. The monster has become a symbol of excellence, a fighter whose very presence inside the ring inspires awe. His fists have spoken louder than any words could. His story is not finished, but already his name belongs among the immortals. Naoya Inoue has proven himself to be more than a champion. He has proven himself a legend, a warrior whose hands have carved his place in eternity.